When people think of extracurricular activities, they usually think they're just that. Extra, outside, beyond, and not a part of the curriculum. But as you're about to learn, students are drawing from those experiences to make a difference in themselves and others inside the classroom directly. In this episode of Senior Spotlight, we travel to New Technology High School, where one senior's active life outside the classroom has directly impacted her success inside it. New Tech High senior Tatiana Chance is hard to keep up with. Here's an idea of her regular schedule if you can follow along.
So my first class I go to is marketing, and I took that because I want to be a real estate agent. So I feel like being able to market yourself and know how marketing tactics work would be essential for me to take. And then I go to concert choir, which is a group of about 14 kids this year. Last year it was about 9. It's an auditioned group where we sing choir songs. It's concert choir, and we travel around to different places just because we're in a group where we all enjoy singing, and that kind of environment is really nice, I would say. And then after concert choir, I take pre-calc. I was really nervous to take that, but math is not my strong suit, so I decided to challenge myself because I found that if I don't challenge myself, I can get bored. So then, taking pre-calc, it's a lot of fun actually, I like it. And then I go to astronomy, meteorology. We learn about weather patterns and just the earth in general, and I really like that. Then we go to lunch, and then I serve lunch, both over lunch A and B. So then I first did it as community service, and then they liked me apparently for some reason, and then now I get paid for it. And then after lunch I go to Teacher Pathway, which is a new class that we're taking this year. The Dean of Education wants to encourage more diversity in teachers and more people to become interested in the teaching profession. So then Teacher Pathway is just a way for us to get interested, and it's also for college credit. And then we've been going to Hayward once a week on Thursdays, just go in the classroom observations, and then being able to see like what it is to be an actual teacher rather than on the student side. So I really like that. And then I go to theater, which is one of my favorite classes because I've been doing theater pretty much since 2nd grade, just all the time. And then on Tuesdays from 5:30 to 9:30, I have real estate principles. So then that's a lot of dedication because it is a hybrid college course and it's a lot to do.
That's a lot to unpack, and it's only the start. So let's back up to chamber choir.
I have known Tatiana for the past 3 years. She is part of my chamber choir, and she auditioned and has become a role model to many in that group. And so she has been part of choir and chamber choir, but chamber choir is a select group, and so they have to audition. And when they audition, then once they're in the group, then in the next years to come, then they're also in the group. So I take those people who have the experience and they bring that to the kids who are new to the group as they come in the years to come. Currently, chamber choir has many things on the agenda. We'll be singing the Star Spangled Banner for the state volleyball tournament, and then we will go to Christmas at the Capitol, so we have a whole group of music that we get prepared for that. We have a concert coming up in December, so we have a whole different set of music for that. And then we also prepare for some jazz competitions, and so we've already started that music because it is more difficult. This group has probably 25 songs in their folders right at this moment. So it's a challenging thing for them. They come in and they know every day we just get down to business. Tati is one of those people that if people are talking, then she'll just say, "Mrs. Green's ready," and I don't even have to say anything. So she's just a great leader, and she always is positive. That's one thing I love about her. I love her happy demeanor. She's always happy about everything. She never comes to class and is down, even if the weather is down, whatever. A lot of kids just are affected by those types of things going on in their lives, but she is always a very positive, happy person. They feed off of her because she has such a great attitude. She's bubbly. You can tell she's very good at drama. And I've gone to see quite a few of her productions. She has done productions at the Washington Pavilion. She has done a lot of the Washington High School productions. And I like to support those kids that are from New Tech and take part in those activities too. But you can tell that that's just a part of her again, because she has that outgoing personality and it comes out on the stage. She's just really fun to watch. And so, and even the kids, like when she goes to Washington, and I know a lot of the kids there because my kids have gone to Washington. So when I go there, I like to watch how they interact with her because she doesn't go to school with them all day long. And so then you wonder, will she be accepted? Or how does she feel when she's there? But they are just all so accepting, but I think that's part of her personality. She's easy to like. And so, you know, just because of that, she's just so fun. I love having her around.
Her love for music, theater, and her dedication to her groups has her also taking voice lessons outside of school.
Because she feels like in years to come, she'll probably need that if she's going to be in drama and, you know, as she continues on in life. And so just to better herself, she's always trying to better herself, and she'll find a way to do that.
I've been doing that for about a year. I've been doing different private lessons, things that I've got like my kick in. I used to do piano lessons, and then when I hit middle school area where you started learning band, I took clarinet lessons for like 6 years, and then I came here where we don't have a band. We do have a partnership with Augustana, which would allow me to do one, but I chose to do choir instead. So
Theater is perhaps one of her greatest passions.
I am involved in theater because New Tech doesn't have theater here. I go through Washington High School, and then I have been doing theater with Washington High School since freshman year. My first play was You Can't Take It With You. I played Essie, so I was basically a ballerina, really bad ballerina who thinks she's good, making candy all the time. That was fun. And then last year, I believe, I started doing theater at the Dakota Academy of Performing Arts through the Washington Pavilion. So then a lot of that is musical theater. Right now we're doing Your Good Man Charlie Brown, where I'm Snoopy, so I get to do dog barks. I like having fun. I'm a pretty energetic person, I think. And I also, through Washington Pavilion, I do plays for a living, where we bring plays to the elementary age and middle school and behavioral mental health, and then talking about diversity, discrimination, how to deal with your hurt emotions. And then we introduce those at such a young age where they slowly get skills. It's like more suicide awareness and how not to bully. And then I'm also involved in oral interp, and that is basically acting, just you alone, no costume, no props. Second season, there's no script. And then, so you just go in there and be judged, basically competitive acting, so like that.
Her love of theater and her devotion to the craft has impacted her education directly.
I've had the pleasure of knowing Tatiana for the last several years as an English teacher, as a general personality at New Tech, through lunch interactions, through classroom, and then through the opportunity to watch her grow in her performing arts. It's been an awesome thing to see Tati grow. I had her as a junior for American Experience. American Experience is a combination of literature, composition, film history, and American history. So it's kind of a big class, and as a year-long class, you get the chance to see a student really grow in that atmosphere. So Tatiana has this really awesome, bubbly personality, but at the same time, there's this balance of introspective knowledge, and she really came to my class a little timidly, honestly. Sometimes juniors come to Amex intimidated by the workload, by the class level, and Tatiana was a little bit shy when she came into that, but as she found her feet, as she learned her role, as she realized that Amex and junior year really is another chance to grow, she found her voice. And the crazy thing that really happened is Tatiana found her voice. She began to share that with other students and help them find theirs. One of Tati's gifts is being able to be outspoken. Sometimes we think of outspoken individuals as naturally outspoken, and Tatiana is not naturally outspoken. And the gift that she brought that she brings is, as a student who other classmates know is kind of private, sometimes a little bit shy, but knowing how to be outspoken, to share that voice. She sets an example in the classroom, specifically say in presentations or in classroom interactions. Students know that when Tatiana walks up to my desk or to Mr. Hawkins' desk, she's very quiet. Hi, I have a question for you. But when it comes time for her to speak in class, for her classmates to hear or to present, the voice suddenly changes and there's a lot of vocal projection involved. And she made it okay for students to be interactive, privately, quietly, maybe shy, but at the same time, be able to evoke and to emote and to articulate what they needed in the classroom setting and not feel awkward about it. I share a classroom with Rachel Roberts, who is the theater teacher. She comes into my classroom during 3B and teaches her theater class, so I like to hang out in classroom and watch that theater class develop. And Tatiana's experience in the community and at Washington with the theater has really allowed her to become a leader in that class. She models so many different characteristics for those students, and to be able to go see her perform, to see her rehearse, to hear her in the hallways, walking up and down the hallways, practicing her lines, it's really kind of a fun thing, because to see where she came from as, I won't say a timid sophomore, but more of a quiet sophomore to an outspoken, performance-oriented person. And then watching her do her oral interpret and her debate, to see that those activities play a direct impact on her presentation skills in the school. You could very definitely tell as the year progressed last year that Tatiana was taking away from her extracurricular activities qualities, tactics. She's learning lessons that she's applying directly to her high school education. Well, so many times we think of extracurriculars as students exploring interests and then maybe using those as ways to entertain or stay busy. And Tatiana is a perfect example of a student who has explored an extracurricular, learned so much from that extracurricular, and then brought it back into the school to improve her performance, to improve her oral communication, but then also be that coach. And I think that's something that's really, really cool, is I watched Tatiana last year in my classroom become a coach for other students. When it came time for critical friends on presentations, when it came time for feedback on script writing, when it came back time for critical friends and feedback on writing poetry, or when we did our song project. Students recognized that Tatiana was bringing this experience from her extracurricular into the classroom, and it made her a valuable member, not just as a student, but also as a classroom leader.
A full load of classes, choir, theater inside and outside of school, National Honor Society president, 2 jobs, and 2 college-level classes for 2 possible careers.
With the real estate course, it ends in the semester times. Then I will be taking the exam in July, about that time. It's going to be a 7-8 hour long test. There's going to be a lot of studying for that. And then once I pass that, I could just start selling houses right away. I've been debating about which internship I'm going to take. I've had a couple of offers. I am going to do a job shadow through Junior Achievement, I believe. And just there's a lot of different things that I'd like and I think I'd be good at, so hence I'm taking 2 different college classes between teacher pathway or real estate, because they're both fields that I'd be interested in, because I just want a job where I'm not doing the same thing every day and I can help people and I can actively see that I'm making a difference.
Whether it's performing with groups at Washington High School or the Washington Pavilion, Tatiana seems to fit in everywhere, and nowhere better than at New Tech High.
We always asked our seniors something very, very simple: be your best self. And Tatiana has a great sense of purpose, has a great sense of self, and she carries herself in this school with that responsibility squarely upon her shoulders, but it doesn't weigh her down. She wears that responsibility of a senior being her best self as a piece of pride. She knows that as a senior, as a role model for freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, that she has a duty, she has a responsibility, and she relishes that. She loves giving feedback to underclassmen. The new house structure that we've developed to help develop community has really played into that role for her, because now she has a structure with which she can actively interact with freshmen and sophomores, because that allows her another venue for her to be a leader, to be her best self. One of the coolest things that Tatiana does is she serves as a great ambassador for New Tech. Not only does she go to other schools to help recruit incoming freshmen, but she also serves as an ambassador when we have visitors in the building. And she is extremely articulate, and she's very honest about some of the things that she had growth areas in, how she grew in those areas, and some of the struggles that she may have faced. And her vulnerability in that way makes her an approachable leader. She travels to the schools, to the middle schools, to talk about her experiences. And she makes New Tech more real through her real life experiences. When we have community partners come in, when we have visitors come in, and she gives tours to visiting schools, to sometimes legislators or other people who just want to see what New Tech's like, she has a very solid working knowledge of what every class does, of how different teachers teach, but also then how she has learned to interact in this environment to get the most out of her education.
I teach also at Whittier Middle School, and she came from Whittier. And so when they come to recruit, so when New Tech High School goes over there to recruit, quite often Tati will be one of the kids that comes over, and I think that's because of, number one, her personality, and she can talk in front of people very easily. And so why wouldn't you take Tati with you? Because you know she's going to do an amazing job. So you know, it's kind of fun because I get to see her come into a different role there too, and all the kids, you know, watch her, and I think, yeah, you know, you could be a Tati. You could come to New Tech High School and be a Tati.
I chose New Tech because we do project-based learning, so we get real-world application, and we also work in groups. I'm a very type A person, or used to be very, very type A freshman year, and whenever I did group project, I'm like, just give it to me, you're not doing it right. And I came to New Tech because I know that I'm going to need those social skills to be able to realize that other people have skills, other people can work, and other people are capable of doing things. So then just schooling-wise, it really made sense for me to come here because I like to challenge myself, and because I know if I went to Washington or Lincoln or Roosevelt, I could just stay in my bubble of I know what I'm doing and I'm doing it right versus getting any other outside force. So the project-based learning and the real-world application also really helped. So we don't have to ask, why are we learning this? And it's really applying what we're doing. I really like how New Tech has a really close family atmosphere because we are working in groups, so you don't really see any cliques, any bullying here. Just the atmosphere is so nice. You can go in the hallways and say hi to people, and everyone knows you. We go to a school of like 350 kids here, and it's really nice being able to apply the real world questions and then being able to ask questions to your teachers, being able to ask your peers, because it's really applying it rather than dealing with like imaginary numbers, which used to freak me out. Like we're applying like when we'd need to use them and different things like that.
As if all of this wasn't enough, you may have seen Tatiana in the news recently because she also started a nonprofit organization to help others in need.
Yeah, I started a nonprofit organization. It's called Help for Hoo-Ha's. I chose the name because it has that shock value, because a lot of times if you name it something that's like sanitary napkins for the homeless, people just scroll past it. So the goal of Help for Hoo-Ha's is for me to get tampons, pads, and different things like that to homeless women in our area, because a lot of times people don't donate it because they don't know it's an issue. Because a lot of times homeless women, they have to do makeshift tampons, they have to steal it because like people don't know about the issue, because like periods and different things like that, it's such a taboo subject, so we don't talk about it, and then if we don't talk about it, we can't do anything about it. So when I found out about the issue, I'm like, yeah, I want to help, but we don't really have homeless people here. It wasn't until we had presentations where the Bishop Dudley and St. Francis House came here where I saw that we have such a large amount of homeless people, homeless children, just there's so many homeless people that we can help. So then I started my nonprofit, and I am working with Brian Kirby right now. He is working with me to become a legit nonprofit so I can get the resources. And I actually got invited to speak at a conference about this, and I get to talk about my nonprofit and how other people can help. We've had so many donations, and just people, when they found out about the issue, they want to help. No one wants to just sit knowing that people are struggling and just watch them struggle. And I have gotten like a variety of responses from like, wow, it's such a great thing you're doing, or like, why you're doing this, like, because homeless people, they got themselves in this situation. But a lot of times people don't realize that like, we're one catastrophic event from being homeless. Like if you live in an apartment, like if you don't have like 3 months rent saved, you get in a car accident, then you're gonna be on the streets. And if I was in that situation, I would want someone to help. So I am, as Gandhi said, being the change I want to see in the world. So if you apply that quote to your life, then, because a lot of times people don't make change, and so you have to be the change.
Whether she ends up pursuing real estate, or, as we selfishly hope, education,
I'm excited for graduating. I am excited to take the real estate exam. I've been thinking about real estate since like middle school, middle school, because I loved that kind of thing. And then just finally realizing that I'm so close to my dreams and fulfilling them, and been applying to colleges, already got accepted to Augustana and USF and a couple others, and just realizing like how close I am to making like my dreams come true right now. I'm pretty much open to anything, but I would like to stay local just because Sioux Falls has helped me grow a lot as a person, and I feel like I have some duty to bring it back to Sioux Falls. And just like, if I become a teacher, work in a Sioux Falls school district, because I've grown so much. So then if I just take all the things that they gave me and then not give anything back to help others, it feels like some sort of like an injustice somehow to me. I don't know, but I would just like to help people like in this area. It'd be super cool if I got to work at New Tech eventually, just because of that project-based learning aspect of it. But I think that wherever I teach, if I can, I would like to have some sort of project-based, because you get to learn so much more when you do the project-based learning style, because like you're applying the real-world application. So then if you don't apply the real-world application, you're not going to know when you have to use it or how to use it besides what's in the textbook.
being the change she wants to see in the world is part of her nature.
I just really like helping people. I'm like an only child, and then I used to be a part of the Big Brothers Big Sister program. So I had a big sister, and then seeing people who made an influence and like being able to mentor smaller children or like different aged kids. It was just, a lot of it was because it happened to me, so I would like to help others. Like, I think it's only fair.
She is going to do something big in her life. I feel like she is a determined person. She has a great bubbly personality. She is smart. She is friendly to people. How can, you know, in life going on, she is going to make something of herself. And if it's not going the way she wants, she will find a way to better herself so she can get there.
The ideal New Tech Titan is a broad picture. We have all sorts of students who come to this school to become Titans, and having Tatiana as a leader really helps us show the breadth of type of student that New Tech really embraces. Her engagement in outside activities, her passion for oral communication and communicating with others, her willingness to be a leader, and her willingness to grow through some struggles and through some growth areas really embodies what it means to be New Tech. It really shows other people that New Tech offers so much for so many, and if Tatiana can be as successful as she is, working through some of the things she's worked through and being the leader that she is, it really helps other people understand all the cool things that New Tech offers. Tatiana is a passionate individual. She believes strongly in what she believes in. But more likely, I feel that Tatiana's desire to help others, her willingness to grow, her willingness to tackle challenges, I see Tatiana in a role where really she is serving. She's really looking to help others make an impact, to improve themselves, or to overcome obstacles that they may see. She's goofy, she's friendly, she's articulate, she's outspoken, she's sensitive, she's sweet. She's a young lady who makes a real impression. And you don't forget meeting Tatiana in all of the most positive ways. She is universally known throughout the school because of her willingness to reach out, her willingness to lend a helping hand, because she's not afraid to be real with people about who she is, what she believes in, how she struggles, and how she's overcome those struggles. She is a very powerful personality, and I don't know if I'd have said that 2.5 years ago, but as that powerful personality, she's using all of those powers for good. And I just think that she's doing a really killer job of being the best version of herself.
Stay tuned for upcoming events and productions that Tatiana is involved with, including oral interpretation, one-act plays at Washington High School, and productions through DAPA at the Washington Pavilion. To learn more about how to help with her nonprofit, go to Facebook and search Help for Hoo-Ha's.
You can't